Welcome to our weekend show and good morning. This is Gashis Kaman, the tallest man in Back Africa. And Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority, popularly known as EPRA, lowered the fuel prices with 1 shilling. Yes, I mean 1 shilling only. And when I look at the situation, I have to ask myself many questions. And let me ask you, our viewers, if you find a shilling on the road, would you really bother to take or pick that shilling? How many times do you encounter a shilling and you don't even notice it for somewhere? And those days when a shilling was worth so many sweets are long gone. And when you hear Kenya Kwanza bragging that these are good signs that economy is stabilizing, then you ask yourself so many questions. Kwa sababu ukiangalia bei ya mafuta kupunguzwa kwa shilingi moja, I think I don't know what to say, but at a time like this, it is something that is very disgusting. It were better if they did not even announce the changes. And I think they did this just to counter what Raila Amolo Odinga was saying, that the fuel prices are likely to rise. And we know very well that when you look at the fuel prices in the international market, the fuel prices have fallen. Sio kama hapo beleni bei imepunguka kabisa, watu waambie ukweli. And the reason why EPRA and the government in general is not lowering the fuel prices, I don't know why they are not doing this. Yet the international fuel prices are falling. Now, I think the government needs to come out very clearly. Kwa sababu mambo hayaendelei vizuri. Mambo hayaendelei vizuri. And this is an insult to the hustlers. This is an insult for sure. Because I remember very well that when Ruto took over the government, he promised, even during the campaign, he said he would lower the prices of commodities. In fact, within 1 week, he was to lower everything. But now what we are seeing, what we are witnessing is prices skyrocketing. Bei inazidi kupanda. I would call it contempt to the voters. Because this is a government that is took on power through populist policies, but they are not fulfilling anything. So far, we have not witnessed anything that has been fulfilled, something that can affect directly, something that can help the common mwananchi. And I'm saying it shouldn't have changed. It should have remained the way it was, 180. There's no need of telling people it is 179 now, when we know very well that this is not the price. This is not the same percentage as the international market. So what we can say is that Kenya Kwanza is not doing the right thing. It's not leading this country in the right direction. And if I was to ask you, our viewers, do you think Ruto is leading this country in the right direction? So far, we have not seen much. So let us know if you think that the country is headed in the right or the wrong direction. Because if you ask me, I would say without any fear of contradiction that the country is headed to the dogs. And unless something significant changes, unless the government do something that is going to change everything, Kenyans should brace themselves for more difficult time. And let us not forget that Ruto took over power when the price of petrol was Kenya shilling 157, and now it is 180. And you ask yourself, which are these miracles that the handshake was playing? Kwa sababu walikuwa wanasema kwamba kuwepo kwa handshake was the reason behind the skyrocketing prices. They were saying the handshake, they were blaming Raila and Uhuru for everything. Now walikuwa wanasema maliza wede, handshake, sijui rege, sijui nini. Now they are no more, they have gone. Raila is not in government. Uhuru is retiring. He's not even in a trouble. He's busy with his life. And when you see, kile ambacho tunaona ni serikali ambayo inawachezea wananchi, inawachezea shere. And when you look at when you look at the Kenyans, this pain all over, a lot of pain. Mama Boga's kerosene has not been spared. Imagine Mama Boga. Mama Boga, mama ambaye anaamka kafanya kazi vibarua ambavyo analipwa shilingi 300, just 300 shillings. Imagine, you can imagine 300 shillings, and the price of uga is 230 shillings or 40 shillings some places, and the price of kerosene is now hitting over 160 Kenyan shilling. So how are people going to survive? Tena ukiangalia, on the other hand, when you look at boda guys are left speechless. Yesterday, I met several guys, boda guys, and we were talking with them, and Ruto should know that these guys are despairing. In fact, the guys were telling me it was better when we had Uhuru Kenyatta. Life was a bit manageable, and they were also saying that Uhuru was sympathizing with them with the subsidies. They were saying that it was good for this country. It was good for them. It was good for Mama Boga. And one guy asked me a difficult question. I would like to pose this question to Kenya Kwanza government. Now that you removed the subsidies from fuel, where did you take what you saved? The savings. You saved a lot of money. Yes. Where did you take the 20 shillings that Uhuru Kenyatta was subsidizing? So kile ambacho tunaweza kusema ni kwamba watu wana hasira, and Kenya Kwanza is leading an agri nation. An agri nation is very dangerous. An agri nation is restless. An agri nation is a nation that cannot be comfortable. Hawezi wakavumilia. Unajua watu wanajihurumia kuwa Wakenya, wanavumilia kuwa Wakenya. Now, sometimes you look at the country and you see most of these problems that you see have been caused by the government. Poor policies. Because kile ambacho tunaona ni kwamba ni mikakati ambayo haipo, hatuna mikakati. The other thing is that Ruto should know that he is also leading a hungry nation. A hungry person is an angry person. So you can imagine the two, a hungry nation and an angry nation. And when you look at Rigathi Gachagua and Ruto, they're also leading a suffering nation. People are suffering from all types of diseases. You saw the negligence in Kenyatta National Hospital that is causing the death of infants. And this is replicated in all major government hospitals. You see, because Ruto has taken too long to form the government. And in the second quarter of his 100 days, he is still ruling using Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta's administration. This has never been witnessed anywhere else in the world. In Kenya are unique. This president needs to know that. He needs to put his government in order and let us see his government working. Because if things continue this way, then these people cannot do what they don't hold the vision of William Samoei Ruto. What they have is the vision for Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. And although you know very well that this country is suffering, I think we also need to know what to do. Because let us not forget that the price of the cost of electricity is also very high. The taxes were increased due to inflation. Inflation in this country, I think, is sitting now 9 point something. Let the truth be told that the shilling is losing marginal every day against the dollar, against the international hard currencies. It is very, very disgusting. It is because the things are not going in the right direction. And you see also the division that we are witnessing in this country, because this country is hopelessly divided, is also affecting our country. And something needs to be done to unite the country. Because what we can see is that the government is not doing enough to unite this nation. Because people, you see, some people feel that this government belongs to the Gema nation and the Kalenjin nation. The other communities feel that they are not part of this government. And I think Ruto should work very hard to bring these people together. Because if he doesn't do this, I think it will be bad for him. Also, let us not forget that there are allegations that the government is getting free fertilizer from Russia. There are allegations that these are donations that we are now buying it. The farmers, the poor farmers, the common mwananchi, the Baba Boga, Mama Boga are buying at 3,500 shillings. So the question that would like to pose to Kenya Kwanza government, who is pocketing this money? Isn't this corruption? Isn't this corruption? This is the case. And even Raila Amolo Odinga alluded to the same. And I think this week he alluded to the same, that they are getting free fertilizers and they are selling it to the common mwananchi. Sasa ni nani ambaye anapora hizi pesa? Ni vipi tuwe tunapewa bolea bure sio na gharama yote, kisha tunauzia wakulima ambao wanalia? I think these are hard questions that need to be clarified by the government. The other thing is that when you look at almost all major projects that were started by Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, especially the infrastructure projects, most of them have stalled. Nothing is going on. Roads have stalled. Why? Then the question that we would like to pose to the government again, where was Uhuru getting the money to pay these projects? Why were this project going on throughout? Because we could see that he was doing very well. We could see many hospitals. We could see many roads. We could see many, even could the house projects that were still going on. But they have stalled. Why? And the government is functioning. And we know that the taxman is still collecting the taxes. The civil servants are still paying the pay as you earn. The government earns billions and billions of money per day. And yet, we cannot be able to account for each and every coin. And what we have is that Kenyans are expecting free internet, as promised by Ruto'S administration. None other than Ruto himself. Wanatarajia bei ya unga ishuke hadi shilingi 70. They're also expecting petrol prices to be at least Kenya shilling 100. That will be manageable. That will be something that people are expecting. The government is yet to be fully constituted. Let us not forget that. And what we have is that we cannot forget that Kibaki inherited a dead nation from Moi. And he was able to resurrect this nation. And it was able to rise and rise. And what we saw was a vibrant nation. What we saw was a working nation. But when you look at William Samoei Ruto also inherited a strong nation, a working nation, a nation that was working, a nation that was standing on its feet. But what we are seeing now is a nation on its knees, a nation that is crying, the nation that is sick, and a nation that is headed in the wrong direction. And Ruto needs to work extra hard to put this country in the right position, because if he doesn't do this, things will run out of hands. And the other thing is that when you look at the administration of Ruto, you see a lot of favorism, especially from the Kaji nation and the Kikuyu nation. You wonder, what are the other, why are other tribes being left out in his government? Remember, the president is the symbol of national unity, and he's the father of the nation. And as he said during the inauguration, he needed to work for everybody. He should not be seen as a president of the chosen few. This country belongs to all of us. We would like this country to be prosperous. We would like this country to move forward. We would like children to inherit a prosperous nation, not a dead nation. Till next time, this is your host, Roost, the tallest man in Black Africa. Kindly subscribe to our channel if you have not. For our viewers, I request you just hit that like button and comment, and also let us know what you think about this great nation of ours. Till next time, bye bye.